What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily, your source for daily tech news. We have a few stories and a few questions. If you want to ask a question so that it's answered in the Q&A portion of this video, leave a comment down below with the word question and I will answer it tomorrow's video. With that said, let's jump into the tech news. First story of the day is about this phone. Well, the successor to this phone, the Microsoft Surface Duo 2, which will be out towards the middle to end of October. And there's a feature that this phone is going to have that we kind of didn't expect. Now, it's not amazing feature, but it's pretty damn cool. And I'm glad it has it. So let's jump into this. This is officially coming from Microsoft. They put out in a tweet that the Surface Duo 2 is rated with IPX1. So dripping water, vertical falling drops, should have no harmful effects. And it says you can learn more here. So if it's raining straight down, your phone should be fine if it's out in that element. Now, if it's getting all crazy and water shooting up everywhere, there's a good chance your phone might die. So this isn't like one of those things that you can drop your phone in 3 foot of water or even drop it in water and it will, be safe. It might be, but it isn't rated for that, and more than likely it might break. So it's a good little feature. At least it's some kind of water, not resistance, but I don't know what you would call it, like light assistance, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately kind of cool. Thank God, even though the phone's super expensive, at least it has some kind of like rain protection at the very least. Next up, yesterday we saw the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and what we saw about that was it does have an S Pen slot. It will be radically different, at least on the back of the phone, with that like P-shaped camera module. And then on the front, it's gonna look quite similar to what we've seen on past Galaxy phones. There's more to that story, especially with the naming of that phone. And then also we're gonna take a look at the S22 and S22 Plus. So let's get the boring stuff out of the way, and that is the design of the S22, S22 Plus, which looks eerily similar to what we've seen last year with the S21 and S21 Plus. So these are the phones right here for the S21 and S21 Plus. They look very, very similar. They do look like they're gonna have a little bit of a flat display on there. That's one of the major takeaways. Other than that, there's really nothing to be that excited about in terms of the looks of those two phones, unless you're just hating the S22 Ultra phone and you're like, ooh, this is gonna look good versus that phone. Let's also dive into this part right here. So screen sizes, we have spoken about this. Ross Young is locking it in again, saying that the screen sizes for the S22 will be 6.06, the S22 Plus will be 6.55, and the S22 Ultra will be 6.81. He said confirmed those in July, no changes since. Only the Ultra is LTPO, which is a screen technology which allows it to do 120 hertz at 2K plus, and it will, do variable refresh rates 1 to 120 hertz. He also said production is going to start in mid-December, which all goes along with those phones being released in January of 2022. Now, the bigger part of all this is the naming, and this is coming from Chun, who's got a great track record. Says, oops, On Leaks confirmed the S22 Pro name, so I guess I will do the rest. He's saying that the S22 Plus potentially is looking to be called the S22 Pro phone. The S22 Ultra would be called the Note 22 Ultra. Yep, you heard it right. S22 Ultra might actually be called the Note 22 Ultra. Now, it's just a name. It doesn't change the fact that ultimately it's coming from the lineage of an S22 line of phone or the S line. Not really, but I think mentally it makes people that want that Note phone satisfied. Makes them feel like they're getting something back that they didn't have last year or this year. So when you're looking at that S22 Ultra, just know there's a really good chance that it's going to be called the Note 22 Ultra, which at the end of the day, does it make you happy? Does it make you sad? Do you not care? Let me know what you think about this naming of the S22 Ultra now being called the Note 22 Ultra in the comments down below. With that said, guys, let's get into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat! First question of the day comes from Cat Lover Player saying, do you think the Samsung will ever add quad stereo speakers to the Candy Bar flagship phones? No, I don't think so. And I think I think they will to the Z line, like the Z Fold. I think as those phones get bigger, I think they will add quad speakers. Could be wrong though, but I think they will. The reason I don't think they will on these phones is due to the fact that, and this is an iPhone, actually the new iPhone, is due to the fact that I don't think there's space enough for it. I mean, theoretically, yeah, could they? Yes. And I don't think they will though. I think the only way they potentially might is if they go completely portless. Maybe at that point they might do it, but I really don't think they're going to do it. I think they'll save it for their tablets, which they already have it in, and their bigger phones such as the Z Fold line, but I don't think it's gonna happen with these, candy bar style phones. Dan asks, how do you make the Galaxy Buds work on the PS4 or PS5? I saw someone reply to you saying it doesn't work. I'd be highly surprised if it doesn't work. This is what you gotta do. Make sure there's nothing connected to your Galaxy Buds. Like, make sure the Bluetooth to whatever devices are connected to are turned off. Make sure they're in the case, open the case, leave the case open, go onto your PS4 or PS5, go into like Bluetooth connections and try to add it from in there. It should work. They are Bluetooth headphones. You don't need necessarily that Galaxy wearable app to make everything work. So it should theoretically work. I haven't tried it personally. Might make for a good video. But yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't work. And if you've tried it and it worked, let us know in the comments down below. And our last question of the day comes from Rafael Escalona saying, do you think if there's any chance that the Fold 4 could bring the S Pen slot now that the S22 could potentially have it? Yeah, I think we're at that point now where like Samsung released two phones that had S Pen support, that being the S21 Ultra and the Z Fold 3. The S Pens didn't go physically in the phone, but now I think they're like, you know what, let's hold that off to the next year, which is this year coming up, which would be the Z Fold 4 and the Note 22 or S22 Ultra, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I actually think we will see the S Pen go in, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we don't. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's a real, I think it's within reach that within the next year or two, we probably will see the S Pen physically go into those phones. So yeah, I think we will. Thanks for all the questions, guys. If you have questions, leave them in the comments down below with the word question. I will answer it in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road. Peace. Here's a little bonus question I saw. Keenan Jackson saying, what do you think instead of the Fold being in portrait, long and skinny, turning it sideways so that it's in landscape, shorter and wider, wouldn't that give it more room and be wider, better in phone mode? Hope I explained this so you can understand my question. I actually don't understand your question. Sorry, Keenan. It didn't really make too much sense to me, so I had a little difficulty answering it. But if you're just talking about turning the phone sideways to use it, I don't think that's going to be very comfortable. I think the traditional way of holding it up and down is a lot more usable and normal for people. But otherwise, if you have to turn the phone in order to use it in a better direction all the time, I don't know if that's a good solution. And maybe that's completely different than what you're saying. And if it is, please reword the question and put it in for tomorrow.